Hello faithful viewers, welcome back to another review. This time we're looking at the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe class Cyberfire Bumblebee. Yes, this figure has a reputation in the fanbase and a nickname, Murderbee, and you'll see why, especially in robot mode, but you can kind of get the idea in vehicle mode here. He's kind of an evil Bumblebee despite the fact he is still an Autobot. So he turns into his usual, like, 2011 Camaro. I don't know the specific name for this type of vehicle mode. It's just a Camaro to me. And the main difference is that he is a reverse colours Bumblebee, so he's primarily black. But the way that they've done the yellow this time is that they've made it trail off into like this flame deco that goes along the bonnet, along the roof, and along the sides of the car doors there. That's really cool, actually. That's so unique, because reverse colours Bumblebees are just usually, he's primarily black instead of yellow, and where the black stripes were yellow stripes instead. But no, this has gone a little bit more inventive. You can see a yellow spoiler there as well, and instead of like your usual blue translucent windows, now you've got red translucent windows. That's really epic. And I just think it's a beautiful looking car mode in general. Camaros usually are. You've got the Camaro symbol on the front there, so it is an officially licensed vehicle. Now, interestingly, in the windows here, you have this mesh thing going on, and this is kind of like the Wreckers and the NASCARs. I don't know why they've put it on Bumblebee for the Dark of the Moon figure, but they did. And what's also interesting, as you'll see in transformation, the actual windows of the car are there, but they are explicitly for robot mode, and you cannot like bring them up. They won't go because they just clash against that. So interesting, and more importantly unique is this Dark of the Moon figure. Taking him to the underside, I mean, he's not very good for hiding what goes where. There's his head, there are his arms, there are his feet. Classic Bumblebee leg transformation, which we'll show off a bit later. I don't think he rolls very well though, despite the fact that all of his wheels are turning, as we can see there. His feet, and especially his heels, kind of stick out in such a way that they just clash against the ground. So I don't think he rolls all that well, unfortunately. So that's a little bit of a nitpick. Now, the only thing I don't have for this Bumblebee is his mech-tech weapon. I got him second hand. If I'd had acted sooner, then I'd have been able to get one fully complete, but unfortunately I missed out on that one. But I got this for a good retail price of what he would have gone for back in the day, about £13. So that's excellent value. But alas, so I'm going to have to use Jolt's medtech weapon here just to demonstrate the medtech port on the top of his roof, and it just slots in like that, and that's how he would show off his weapon. He doesn't have anything explicitly stealth force, but what he actually does have, if we just remove that, is if you just raise the back part of the car here, you can see two little cannons moulded in right there. So while he doesn't have explicitly stealth force, that's the closest you're going to get to guns in car mode. It's a neat little touch. We didn't have to do that, but it's cool that that's there anyway. So coming to transformation, I have to say this Bumblebee's transformation is so smooth and just so nice to do compared to the other Bumblebees in my collection. This is nicer to do than the fabled Revenge of the Fallen Nest Global Alliance one that I have, which I still think that is the best one, but this is just fun to do. So with all Bumblebees, what we want to be doing is opening the doors for a start, and we can flip out the windows as we're there, just like that, and then take the tyres this time, disconnect them, and fold them to the back, and you're getting a bit more of a movie accurate look by doing that. So that's interesting. I think this was one of the first figures to start doing that, or it might have been like the Battle Blades one, which this does have some similarities to. I just think that this one ultimately looks nicer. Now, panning up, we are going to move the arms out from there, and we're just going to hinge them where the tyres would have been. Just like that. Now we come to the roof, and let's just start untabbing it from everything. Move the back bit up like that, and then move the front bonnet flat down like that. Now with the legs, split them at the back, and again, it's your classic Bumblebee transformation kind of thing going on here. Sans automorph, unfortunately, because you don't have the windows there that would flip inside, but the rest of it is practically the same. The main difference here, apart from the back windows, are these bits. So while you still disconnect them and they still go to the same bit, they are on a hinge system now, so that they go at a bit of an angle instead. Just different. It's just different. And then, you know, the usual shtick here of folding up the feet, and that bit goes up. Second verse, same as the first. Let's just disconnect that, hinge it into place at a diagonal, and then unfold the legs like so. Push his head and bring his chest down as you do so. Now, this figure obviously has a bit of a different chest to him. I'm just going to bring his backpack up while we're here. We'll sort that out in a second. Right, so what we want to be doing is taking the front bumper and, well, the front of the car, at least, and just moving the two halves up like that. They are on double hinges, so up like that, out like that. Then take this bottom bit here and fold it up, and you get his dark of the moon chest. If we plug that in now, and now I'll be able to actually see what I'm doing in regards to this chest. It's just getting it at such an angle that it actually looks good rather than messy. There we go. So hinge it up like that, and then hinge it out like that, and there you go. Now you get a good looking chest on him. And then we're just going the course of neatening everything up now. So fold out his hands like so. And then regards to his backpack, unfortunately it doesn't really tab in anywhere, so you've just got to make do with what you've got. So I like to fold this bit behind the doors, and then with this, kind of trap it between the doors and the wheels there, just to try and keep it as best in place. And there we go, there is Cyberfire Bumblebee fully transformed in a decent looking robot mode. It's not my favourite Bumblebee design in terms of how the robot mode translates. And what I mean by that is, if I very quickly bring in this guy, the ROTF Nest Global Alliance Bumblebee, I've said that I like the profile of this one a whole lot more than this one, and I do stand by that, and it's primarily to do with the chest, because I've always nitpicked like the Battle Blades one with how its chest forms, because I think this one here looks nicer. Now, the Dark of the Moon one that we see before us does have a lot in common with the Battle Blades one, especially I think with how the chest goes, but with this it is possible to get it in such a way that it actually does look nice and not just higgledy-piggledy. But what this guy does suffer from is kind of like this stockiness, kind of hunchback almost sort of thing going on here. His shoulders are far too broad for his own good, unfortunately, and I think that is ultimately a detractor from the overall profile of this Bumblebee. But regardless, this is still one of the better molds to come out of Bee in like the last 12 years or so, I personally think. So he still retains the primary colour of the black and the yellow flames all over. His yellow head is now exposed with his nice, beautifully painted silver face and gleaming red eyes, and that means one thing: light piping. Oh, look at that. Look how evil he is.
He will kill you in your sleep, like Bernie. This is Bernie in robot mode. He's going to kill you soon. He will murder you and your entire family. Bernie.
So yeah, he's got that. He does now have the red translucent windows appear for his robot mode. Primarily black arms with yellow highlights on the forearms, and then, you know, your same old thing down here, your basic Bumblebee kind of get up, but with the Dark of the Moon inspired like ab section here, which is good, makes him a little bit more mature, makes him a little more well built. So it's a very solid design. I think the profile of the first movie and the Revenge of the Fallen one just is a little bit better. But you know what? This guy doesn't have any arm kibble on him. The wheels are arguably in a bit more of an accurate place, and he looks good overall. I just think that his weakest bit is his shoulder area, but and his backpack, of course, because this is another big detractor compared to the old one. He has a backpack. The old one doesn't have any backpack to him. And obviously we're trying something new in terms of engineering, so you have to make sacrifices somewhere, but it's just a shame. And especially the fact that this doesn't tab in anywhere. So and that he is a big old gap in his back. So there's little things which just knocks him down a peg or two. But other than that, he's very good. So in terms of his mech tech and his weaponry and the things that you can do, again, I've got Jolt's blaster here. So he has like a big port at the top of his arm here, which doesn't, allow anything. But you've got this one down here. So you can plug that in and give him an arm cannon if you so wish. He does have articulated hands. I don't know if they can hold a mech-tech gun though. The answer is no, they can't. Now, the other thing that he does have on his arms are these. The good old C-joint things, which I've pointed out in Jolt's review, actually, about these. Now, I've gone and fished out my Cyberverse/Legends Ironhide and his gun here, because it has a C-port on it, so I can actually demonstrate what these do now. If you just clip it on like that, and then, you've got that cross-compatibility as well. As goofy as it looks for Ironhide because of that stick there, but that's a thing that you can do, apparently. Is it me, or does this Bumblebee stand at an angle? Like he's leaning. I can't ever get him to stand fully straight. Anyway, in terms of articulation, Bumblebee's head is on a ball joint, so you've got 360 degrees of swivel. This is feeling rather loose, but it is secondhand. You can look down that far, look up that far. His shoulders are on ball joints, so effectively they could go 360. They are somewhat hampered by these doors and wheels, but not too terribly much. He's got 360 degrees of elbow swivel there. His shoulders are on hinges, so he can do shrugs if you like. You can also rip off his arm just like that with any good old bloody ball joint. He has 90 degrees of elbow bend thanks to a pin joint, and he has wrist up and down like that, and then he has articulated thumbs for some bizarre reason. So he can do that. I don't think he can hold anything in his hands, but it exists. He has a waist swivel of 360 degrees, which is cool to have. He has a very good forward kick. He has, a basic back kick. He has a beautiful spread, as you can see with this leg. You can rip off his leg as well and recreate the first movie if you so desire. He has thigh rotation thanks to a mushroom peg, so he can go a decent way round with that. In terms of a knee, he has about just under 90 degrees of bend there. And then with the feet, he has that transformation hinge there, and then there is a separate up and down just below that at the wheel. So he is very well articulated, more so than figures like Jolt, which is nice to see, because Jolt is a lanky boy with very strange arm articulation. B here is your basic Bumblebee, what you would expect from a figure like this. For a size comparison then, here he is with this thing. Complete with shoulder cannons now, because I actually sourced them from eBay, but yeah, it's no contest, is it, as to which is better. Here he is with Nest Global Alliance Bumblebee, who I do think is still the better figure, and we will maybe one day get more thoroughly in depth with a comparison in old versus new, but I just do rate this one slightly more than this one. This one's good, this one's very good in fact, but I do think that is better. Because we talked about him, here is Jolt from Dark of the Moon, and then of course here is Mysterio. So that has been our look at Dark of the Moon Cyberfire Bumblebee. I do like this figure, I like this figure quite a lot. I think the Dark of the Moon mould in general is, again, one of the best Bumblebee molds from the movieverse that is out there. I've not tinkered with any of the Studio Series ones, but I've heard that the new Rise of the Beast Deluxe class is very, very good. Specifically the Studio Series, not the mainline one. It's crap. But this, you know, especially for the time, very good, and I still think it does hold up today. There are a few issues which just knocks it down a peg or two compared to its predecessors, but overall it is still a remarkably strong figure. Yeah, the backpack doesn't tab in. He just have a tendency to lean to one side, which I can't quite fathom that. And his shoulders are a little bit stocky, but especially this version has beautiful paintwork. It is slightly faded on the shin. If you look here, the yellow isn't the same as the rest of it, and indeed the flames themselves, especially on the hood, are a different shade to the rest of him. So I would have liked a little bit more consistency there, but he has a beautiful silver face, he has evil red light piping, and his general profile is pretty cool. So I have no trouble recommending this to you or any Dark of the Moon versions. I know that there was a Nitro Bumblebee for Dark of the Moon, which is a completely different mold yet again. I don't know about that one personally. I back in the day saw reviews of it, but I couldn't give you a fair, you know, do I recommend it or not, just because I've never played with it. But I do recommend this specific mainline Dark of the Moon mold to you. Seek it out in whatever variation you can, you will not be disappointed. So thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.